Vanakkam.
Vanakkam.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome.
So how are you feeling? London, I think it's
good.
your second time, right?
Yeah, I think it's the fourth time.
Okay.
So earlier I came here for some research work in 2002-03. At the time I was with some food company doing some low glycemic food research. During the time I was here to understand.
So this was how long ago this was?
Almost 15-16 years before. But 2-3 years before I came here for another one interview and one public workshop.
Oh, that's great. So London is not new to you, and so how?
But this is the first time I'm experiencing the chill weather.
Right. So it's, I mean, to be honest, this time the winter is not that bad for us.
It's a consequence of climate change.
So what's your purpose of visit this time?
Yeah, the British Tamil Chamber of Commerce this time they are celebrating the Heritage Festival to tell about the cultural nuances of Tamils to the younger generation, and as well as why Tamil celebrating the Pongal festival, Farmers Festival, and how it is amalgamated with the Tamil culture. So they are celebrating this time in a bigger way. So I am invited for the lecture to deliver one special address in the function. This is going to happen tomorrow, 18th evening. So with a lot of cultural activities, along with that my lecture is also there. In that I would like to deliver something about the heritage, Tamil heritage, along with my expertise on how our Tamil traditional food is a functional food for people. How it was helpful to our ancestors to lead a healthy lifestyle. So these things, probably for this is the purpose of visit.
Yeah, it is interesting because we were doing Tamil cultural events and Pongal festivals for a long time in the UK, and I could see that over time the trend is actually changing, because what it is that most of the time when it's Pongal, it's about just music, it's about art form, mainly art form and expression with the cultural dress and so on. But now I could see that there is a kind of a seeking to understand the depth of Tamil culture, in the sense it's just beyond culture, it's about a way of life, which is like food, medicine, and that search, that kind of seeking, it's bringing all sort of new things to the table. Now what is interesting for the UK audience is that not many would know that the roots of Siddha medicine, it comes from Tamil Nadu or around Tamil Nadu. Like, it has a quite, I mean, if you look for the roots, it actually goes either way, but mostly practiced, and Siddhargal, they call it, isn't it? It comes from there. So I think the seeking is quite heavy within our Tamil youth. So for the younger generation, especially allopathy doctors here, quite a lot of Tamil youngsters, what is your kind of what's the message you want to communicate to them?
Basically, as a Siddha vision, I would like to strongly emphasize Siddha medicine is not merely diagnosing the disease and giving prescriptions with medicine and all. Siddha medicine is an outshoot of Tamil way of life. It's a simple part, is only a small portion, I can say it is a medicine. The larger portion is actually to lead a healthy life, how one should live with some discipline on food, protecting the environment, and caring about the diet, and how they can shape their mind, what is internal happiness. All these things have been very systematically framed from the Sangam literature period onwards. So the name Siddha came little later only, but earlier there are several names. One name is called Arivan. Arivan Maruthuvam is from the Tolgapiyam period onward. That language of Arivan was there. Earlier, there are a lot of group of people who practices Siddha medicine, Tamil medicine, and parallel to their social reformation. So, how Christianity developed around the globe through educating people and through their medical care, like that some social reformer on those days, they took Siddha medicine as one of the tools to preach their philosophical understanding to the common people. So Siddha medicine is not just like you can't see as just like a medicine. There are a lot and lot of things in medicine part itself, but beyond that also many things in the food, culture, lifestyle, all these things. So I strongly feel people like us, institutionally qualified Siddha medicine people, we strongly emphasize the common man about the need of the Tamil lifestyle, understanding the Tamil lifestyle, and exploring the unexploited traits of Tamil culture and heritage, how it is connected with the human mind and how it is connected with the environment, how it is connected with the food. All this very vital, but the challenge we have to tell in the scientific way, modern scientific way we have to explain. On those days, when a senior or elder people preach one particular thing which is good for the life, they simply follow that without questioning.
But these days, everything will be under scrutiny.
Nowadays, everything in analytical eyes, or everybody is started Google it. Whatever word you tell, they will Google it, whether it is rational or whether it is any science behind every notion they are asking. So this is the biggest challenge for us.
So that the idea you're saying there is not only that it comes from the Tamil tradition and the way of life, but you're backing it up with science.
Yep, definitely. All the phrases, if you say, everything has on some meaning in that. I could say on Tamil, they say, Norunga Tindral Nur Ved. It's a very common phenomena. People will tell us that eat slow, chew well, and everything you usually tell. But when you analytically thinking, when you chew well and when you bite the things very well and when you slowly eat, a lot of salivary enzymes will amalgamated with the foodstuffs, and the digestion actually starts from the salivary enzyme onwards. If a person utilize all the parameters, gadgets of saliva, then the digestibility will good and the absorption will be good, glycemic load will be good, and the index will be low. So many things will start. So every small phrases has its own scientific explanation and meaning.
When you were saying this, the thing that I remembered is that recently I saw the actor Madhavan. He did a wellness speech, and on that he was saying that he went all the way to Europe for a wellness program, which he paid a lot. And basically they said, we have taken all of these from your medicine, and then you're coming all the way here paying this much of medicine. And in that is, I think the topic is, if I could remember, is about chew your water and drink your food or something like that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the same thing. See, there are many phrases in Tamil medicine, Siddha medicine. There is one, Theran Noi Anuga Vidhi. It's actually, Theran is the name of a Siddhar, and he had given some hygiene principle. Particularly, we can compare with the social and preventive medicine of modern science. He had given many phrases. In that one phrase, Neer Kariki, Neyuriki, More Periki, Unbardam, Perurekil, Pome Pini. The person who drink water, warm water, and drink as a buttermilk, not as a curd, and take ghee, that clarified butter, in a hot form, in a liquid form, not as in a colloidal form. If you take like that, then his health index will improve, the wellness will be preserved. That is one small phrase. It has been written definitely more than 1,200 years before. But if you look into with the scientific Western analytical eyes, all these three parameters, that water, if it is boiled, that will be good for and we can remove the pathogens inside. After that, if you take curd, the buttermilk is the better media to absorb the probiotics by the body. And if you dilute that clarified butter by heating, then that will help a lot. The saturated fat will be little low. So with that, there are many things. They are given one phrase, they have Man Paravu Kilangugalil Karana Yenri Pirapusiyum. In that, if you take all the tubers, the yam, the Karanai Kilangu, the yam tree, I think it's a small yam, I think. The Karanai Kilangu is having only more fiber. So they say, except
that's the normal the Karanai.
Pidi Karanai. Tamil family, they make curry, masial, they make masial, Karanai.
It's quite tasty as well.
Very good tasty, and which is very good for constipation, good for hemorrhoids, good for fistula. Many studies has been done with the Pidi Karanai. That's the biggest elephant arm is not that. The small arm.
Smaller, yeah.
Yeah, that is actually good. Like that, there are many social and preventive medical principle has been done. Several varieties of traditional rice varieties, several traditional millets. On those days, they are propagated for each and every diseases. We were on those days we have nearly 160,000 rice grains were there in India.
Yeah. So the whole idea is the integrated, because when you say that you want the to understand the basics of it, and also especially the way of life, how we were living. So but then there is a question about in most of the complementary, I mean in the West we say it's a complementary medicine, so they are not interventions, especially as a kind of an accident, emergency or things. But I think you will agree with that, is that?
Yeah, I partly agree with that. Definitely one important point I will always emphasize, modern medicine is not a sin, or modern medicine is not a wrong idea. That has saved a lot of life in our global population. If you take in 1900, the people were around the globe, the average age span were only 45. In India, if it is only 37. But now it is nearly, it make doubled. In India, it's now the average age span is 70, 71. Many of the developed nations, they touch 80, 85, the average lifespan. That is because of the modern science and modern understanding. We have to agree with that. We should not prejudice with all the traditional experiences are good and all the modern science and technology is not bad. There is a wrong perception. We need to explore the traditional science with the scientific modern analysis. We need to reinvestigate. We need to research on traditional medicine, how we can adopt the best of traditional Indian system, Siddha system of medicine in the modern challenges. If you say, currently, our biggest health challenge is non-communicable lifestyle diseases. On those days, the biggest challenge was infectious diseases. Infectious diseases were well controlled by the vaccinations and modern antibiotics and all the modern medicine. Definitely, they saved a lot. But the non-communicable diseases like diabetes, hypertension.
In fact, that's the biggest challenge.
That is the biggest challenge.
Because the non-communicable diseases, like it highly depends on food patterns and lifestyle.
Yeah, that's why we say in lifestyle diseases, only through medicine or only through vaccination you can't control or you can't treat the ailment. We need to amalgamate all the things. So
that you agree that it has to be a complementary or kind of an integrated approach.
Sometimes I could I would like to say, in all conditions, traditional medicine is not complementary. Sometimes traditional medicine is the mainstream and modern medicine can be a complementary.
So you use the term integrated.
Yeah, it should be integrated.
Integrated medicine. Now, there is, there's a large population of Tamils living abroad, especially like all around the world, like in the Western countries, where their lifestyle is quite different to where you come from, especially in Tamil Nadu. And so the most of your lectures and your ideas of food habits, is it practicable in the cold terrains? And also, is it quite the Siddha or the way of life is written or it's been preserved for a particular terrain, or is it universal?
No, I won't say it's universal. There are some challenges. We need to take the best how it can be adopted in a chilled countries like Western Northern Hemisphere of the globe. So one important thing, food as well as medicine and lifestyle, it should be, they are all where we are living, that centric only. We cannot globalize things. We cannot give idli for people who are living in Siberia, or we cannot take a Siberian food to people who are living in Madurai or Trichy. So definitely where we are living, what kind of geographical climatic variation is there, according to that only your food practice should be. Same thing lifestyle also. In India we say weekly twice you should take oil bath. That is very important, and every day you should take head bath. This is one of the major of health discipline preached by the Siddhas. But whether it is applicable, during the December and January of in UK or USA, it's biggest question is there.
Yeah, but I think mostly people are having baths here.
Bath is okay. It's bath. Yeah, only hot bath. And bathing itself, the main important thing is bath means head bath. You have to take water from the head. But here, bath is not like, not only here, even in Chennai, we say people are taking bath from the neck and just washing the hair with the shampoos. That doesn't mean bathing. Bathing is actually reducing the pitta from the, in the night hours, our body will be dominated by the pitta because of the moon's influence will be there. In the day comes, when the day comes, the sun will come around 6 o'clock. At the time, the body constitution should change. For the transition phase only, every person take bath in the morning.
But is it true in this modern world where we just we live in a 24/7 lifestyle without even seeing darkness?
That is actually a wrong phenomenon. I could always say that 24/7, 365 days is not a right healthy life actually. I could say only a human. If we take crores and millions of creatures in the world, only human, after inventing the light and all the things, we are trying to explore with 24/7. But if you want to lead a healthy lifestyle, from sunrise to sunset only you have to work physically, and you have to give mental and physical rest after the sunset. That is the fundamental thing. Even if you see the 2016 Nobel Prize, that is actually how the immune system is connected with the circadian rhythm of the body, and how the circadian rhythm is connected with the many health metabolic activities. You can simply say melatonin will secrete only during the night sleep only. If you avoid the night sleep, definitely you will lose melatonin. By supplementing melatonin, it won't patch the natural secretion of the melatonin.
Is it one of the reasons that you think that there is a high level of bipolar diseases? Because I could see that it's quite common in these
the most of the, not only bipolar, a common depression. Many psychiatric ailment is mainly because of the people who are not getting good sleep, and also particularly youngsters, those who are all either with any one of e-gadgets, either laptop or phones, they always holding it in the night hours. That is definitely one of the main reason people, even mental attitude, irritability. Even if you see sometimes the small children is having a lot of irritable symptoms, and they couldn't be able to calm down, enjoy their childhoodness. That is all because of that highest influence of e-gadgets in the night hours.
So let's come back to the whole purpose of your visit and what you're trying to do here. So so can you say with authority that mostly certain medicine is associated with certain way of life?
Yep.
So Unani, we know it's more from the Arabic or Islamic society. So likewise, if you take Ayurveda, mostly it's Kerala owns it, or it's been used in some parts of the world. But can you say with authority that Siddha Vaidyam or Siddha Marathuam, that you rightly call in the Tamil way of the name, is it associated with the Tamil way of life?
See, one thing.
Now, the reason I'm asking is because the Tamil Chamber of Commerce, when they organized this event, the launch event for the Tamil Heritage Month in 2020, it's interesting that all the other art forms are there, we practice, but we are not aspiring much to our long lost the medical system side and the way of life in food. So that's, I think, one of the reasons that you've been selected or been invited for this talk. Is just to seek back into the tradition.
Yep. So main thing what I would like to say, this traditional systems of medicine in Indian system of medicine, like Ayurveda, Siddha and Unani, all at basically they have fundamentally they are all from the same root only. After that, after the understanding of the universe on those days, the cultural practices took it into a different phenomena. Even we can say all the traditional systems of the world, if you take Chinese system of medicine, composed system.
So this is, you're going all the way back to Indus civilization, or even before that?
That Indus civilization, during that period itself, the understanding about the universe, why sun is there, why water is going like this, why the fire is, these question was basic, the exploration by the ancestors, why the nature is ruling. So they started connecting the nature with our human body. So like that only all the system established. In that case, Tamil has certain antiquity, particularly if you almost nowadays they are telling that around 3000, 4000 years of documentation practices were started. On those days itself, the Tamil civilization has some evidences about healthy living, their commercial practices, their lifestyle practices, their education on those times. Even if you see the recent exploration at Kiladi, and that has been clearly documented that definitely there is in between Kiladi, they are telling now this 6th century BC to 4th century BC, they are getting the carbon dating and all. So with that evidences, we can definitely say on those days, our ancestors having a good understanding about healthy living, understanding about the lifestyle, and the practices, how we have to lead the life to have a socially, mentally and physically healthy, how we can lead a healthy life. Those understanding were there. And historically, if you see, every portion of every 100 years, every 200 years, which dynasty rules us, which kind of war happened, which kind of agriculture practices on those days influence. With that, there are certain changes happened in the Tamil system of medicine. If you say the Siddha system of medicine, there are the Asivaga philosophy was there. There were Sankhya philosophy were there. The Jain philosophy is there, Buddha philosophy is there, and Saiva Siddhanta philosophy, laterly Saiva Siddhanta philosophy were there. So all the cultural philosophies are synergetically integrated in the Tamil Siddha system of medicine. So now the need of the hour actually, how we can exploit the principles and exploit the good functional practices for the next generation.
Especially
that is
what our forefathers was practicing.
I mean, those days.
There's a good point that you raised that if you go back to the roots, but when you come, you know that over at least 3,000 years it was practiced within the town, and then we should protect it, because
first we have to protect, then we have to follow, and then we have to do research. All these is essential.
Because I think that's what brings us here, because you will be looking at options. So while you are here, will you be considering expanding your kind of medical? Because as you successfully running Arogya hospitals in India, in Chennai.
Yeah, we are now one of the leading hospital in India with Siddha system of medicine. Now we are exploring the possibilities of expanding our branches and expanding how best we can integrating with the other fraternity of system of medicine. Also, people who are living, Tamils who are living in other parts of world, wherever Tamil and Indian diaspora is there we have to, we plan to start our branches, as well as we plan to do collaborative researches with the other sciences also. We are looking for research partners, and also we are looking for people who are associated with us to give the Siddha wellness centers in various places in the world. So these are also I'm thinking about that.
I'm sure that in Canada, Tamil Heritage Month's been declared, and they're celebrating January, and then very soon in the UK.
That is one of the major aspirations and agenda of tomorrow's function.
So once it's been declared, so the seeking will start, because it's about the people who follow the culture, heritage, and the way of life.
The very importantly, that next generation, the people who are right now between the age of 15 to 25, those people we have to tell the nuances of our Tamil culture and Siddha medicine, all those things, because those people they are in the sandwich time. They are much influenced with the Western way of living. At the same time, in the home, and their father, the grandfather, grandma are from the traditional system, and they are following the traditional lifestyle. They are in little confusion whether they have to go with the traditional way where the families belong to that, or where they are exposed in schools and colleges. That's the entire scenario is different. But which is correct, which is right? If suppose if you give peer pressure in the home, that will also spoil the child's issue. At the same time, if you allow them as per their own, when the time once when they want to come back, they almost lost everything.
But I think what's happening in London is, my experience is that these days kids are looking out for better things in terms of organic, alternative. But the problem I think they are facing is there's not much literature, not much
there is a big gap
out there. Because it's only a few.
In their language we have to talk, in their scientific temperament, we have to answer for the quest with the proper rationality. Then they will accept. For example, if you are giving Korakkan idiyappam, at the same in front of them they have some cereals with some western flakes. They will look into both, and which is good calorie, which is smart carbohydrate, which is good protein. They have the question in their eyes.
That's right.
Then you have to explain. You should not say Korakkan is good because our grandfather is taking. If you say, they will laugh and go. We have to tell, no, see, Korakkan is having rich of calcium, rich of iron, and that grain itself the glycemic load is little low when you compare with the rice. And if you tell it that way, when you soak it with sodhi, coconut stew, or if you take it with other chambal with onion and coconut, all these having, onion is having phenolic compound, coconut is having lauric acid. If you talk in the scientific temperament, then the child will accept. Oh, okay, this is good, my grandfather took. And the coconut tree is made in Sri Lanka and India. We had seen a lot of, so they connect with the road. So the need of the hour, we need to talk in the scientific language, modern scientific language. That's why we can win their heart and brain. We have to try to win their brain. That is the very important thing.
So I'm sure that this is kind of a growing aspiration among many Tamils across the world, and I'm sure when these kind of initiatives will actually take it to the next level, and the British Tamil Chamber of Commerce, there might be members who might be interested in opening up and expanding this. So, but finally, the message is just for anyone looking at, so what would be the pointers or any kind of literature that you will point at to read more about Siddha medicine or Siddha?
There are many books I can say, but to start with, we have to start from Asara Kovai. That is one of the ancient Tamil literature about the food and food practices and food ingredients on those days. From that, there are many good books with Padartha Guna Sindhamani, one of the major collection.
So are they all in Tamil?
Nowadays it's in English also. It's in English also.
Original.
Yeah, they had started translating in English. In Tamil Nadu, the Indian system of medicine have separate Department of Ayush is there, Government of India, and Department of Indian Medicine in Tamil Nadu. They started translating in all the original Tamil literature. I can't say all the things. They had started translating, and many major books nowadays they translated.
So to start from the basics, it's better ask they can read.
Yeah, they can read. And main thing is if you want to know about the wonders of herbs, nearly the Padartha Guna Sindhamani Mulige Gunabada Mulige, nearly 500-600 herbs. Each herb has how it acts, what are the actions of the herb, and what taste the herb has. The taste and the disease, the connectivity, taste and the body connectivity. So these kind of things they can understand. So definitely there are a lot of things to explore. People can read.
That's an interesting evening discussion, because it can go on forever.
Sure.
But thank you for agreeing for this short interview. We'll look forward to have a conversation in the future.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot for giving me an opportunity. Definitely I can share little good news.